Welcome to CU655, Advanced Pedagogical Studies and Curriculum. So this is all about you diving into your strategies that you might want to incorporate in your teaching practice within your particular teaching area. It's a different unit. It's an independent study style unit. And as we go through the unit outline and we go through the modules that are there, you'll see that it goes from a broad area of exploration in terms of researching, finding out and examining different strategies and funneling down into a selected strategy. And then you present that to your peers through a workshop or video presentation or similar. So that's the essence of where we're going. We're going to examine a range of strategies and then consolidate that on one. So onto our webpage here, we've got the welcome, we've got the unit information and assessment or portals, and I have exemplars there for you that you might find beneficial and useful. The area that I want to talk about is perhaps the unit outline to start, and then I'll go into the different modules that are there. This is a class also that is not an every week class. We will be meeting once a fortnight, and then and as a tutorial, an optional tutorial, we will discuss where you're at in terms of your work. So here's our unit outline, which you're familiar with. Some content, high quality evidence-based strategies. You research it, you evaluate it, and you present it. Learning outcomes follow. Assessment tasks is probably where it is. Now you'll notice there's something a bit different here. And that is the assessment final presentation is 100%. How does that work? Well, the final presentation is the aggregation of parts A, B, and C and putting it all together. So parts A and B, though, are submitted, and we'll have portals for that, but they are formative, and I'll give you some feedback, general feedback to the group and particular feedback to individuals as needed. So what is task 1 or part A about? So it's 100%, as I say. So it's an academic scholarship scan. So you're going to review contemporary scholarship on a teaching strategy that is particularly relevant to your teaching area. Now, let's have some currency under 10 years, under 10 years or younger, 5 or even less. So you're going to look 5 to 7 articles. They're going to add up to about a total of those, and some are going to be short annotations and moderate annotations. So in your academic scan, you're going to do what's called an annotated bibliography. That is that you will explore a range of those, settle on the 7 to 9, and then you're going to write about it. And I have a template on the website that goes and shows you how you'll do that, and there's exemplars that you'll also add. And you'll write down the key aspects of the article and how it applies to the education process or the school context or your learning area in particular. So they're short, sharp, read an article, write about it in a particular way, and I'll show you the format. Part B is select one strategy from your scan. So then you say, okay, I've looked at dozens of articles. I'll then said I've consolidated it down to about the 8 to 10 or thereabouts, and I'm going to select this strategy. And then you're going to describe it in detail. 1,500 words, it's not a huge task, but you won't just reference that article, you'll reference that strategy from a whole lot of areas. And so you'll go in depth on your one strategy. So what's part C? So we're going to adopt an online conference presentation. So we're going to have at the end of semester, we're going to have opportunities where we'll have 5, 6, 7, 8 of you all logged on Zoom, and you'll do a presentation of your strategy. Now in that you're going to perhaps cover part A, the journey of part A to part B, and then you'll elaborate what your strategy is and how you apply it, and you'll have any supporting documentation, or you'll be running in the background a PowerPoint as you present. So you're assuming you're talking to colleagues in a conference, online conference sort of scenario, and you're unpacking, this is the strategy I chose, this is how it's effective, and so on. Now what flows out of that is the information there, elaboration under assessment. So here's the categories that we want you to do your annotated bibliography in your academic scan. Title, reference, APA 7, what's its key aspects, what's its context. It's a study on teaching business in a middle years, etc. How do you apply it? Description is here. And evaluate what's its strengths. Well, it's an American study that seems to be relevant to this. Would have some limitations in Australia because, it's great, it fits perfectly, etc. So you're using that perhaps template to unpack what you have. Part B is probably more bread and butter academic assignment. Have a look at the rubrics and so on to give the emphasis there, but you'll unpack those things. Its description, how it's applied, its conceptual foundations, and its effectiveness. Part C, the presentation strategy, as I say. You're engaging, you synthesize the idea, you present it, and so on. And I've got some ideas of presentation skill sets and websites that are there. Rubrics will flow out of that. Now, the rubric looks like this. It is Part A, academic scan. Notice there is 40%, 1, 2, 3, 4 criteria. Teaching elaboration, 30%, 1, 2, 3. And your presentation, 1, 2, 3. So that's where you've got 10 criteria, strangely, and it's 100%. So it's, in a sense, it's a weighted criteria sheet, 40%, 30%, and so on. And all the information about what I'm looking for is contained there. So that's a bit of an overview of what we've got. And in Module 1, I've got information about your annotated bibliography for your academic scan here. We're going to use the library, and you're going to use the online journals and how to access that. I've got some articles how you might use Google Scholar as another way of accessing information, and so on. So that's Module 1. Module 2 is really about what I want you to see, and I've given an evaluative report as perhaps a template guide for you to utilise when you're talking about your study. In Module 3, I don't have anything at this stage because it's all about presentation, and I'll probably put a couple of things in there across the semester, but it's how do you present well online. Unit information, as I said, and assessment of information at the moment, there'll be portals we place there, but here's some exemplars to give you an idea for a subject which is in the Bachelor of Ed, it has a very similar sort of structure. So, welcome to Advanced Pedagogical Studies, and I hope you see that this is something you can just tick along and go forward. The big change is it's really an independent study. Parts A and B are submitted, but they're formative, and you can get the feedback and adjust Part A and adjust Part B based on the feedback, and you submit that as a final comprehensive aggregation of Part A and B and your Part C, any supporting documentation, PowerPoints and so on that you use in your presentation. Welcome aboard. We'll enjoy this. We'll catch up once a fortnight or so and see how you're tracking.